Hello guys, and today I'm here with Tilemachos Tsontakis. Thank you, Tilemachos, for being here. Tilemachos was one of the very few people who actually managed to do top 16 at the very recent calling in Copenhagen with what other deck but our favorite Dorinthia. So, first of all, Tilemachos, congratulations, mate. That was an amazing performance over the calling. I was really rooting for you to manage to get the top 8 and show maybe that the Rinthia is in a stronger position that sometimes what might other people expect. So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me here.
First of all, why the Rinthia? Why did you choose to take this hero? What's your, how much experience do you have with the Rinthia Iron Song?
This year, I'm playing Flesh and Blood for 3 years total, and I have been playing Dorothea since day one. So I have so much experience with that hero, and it's my main hero throughout my Flesh and Blood career. So yeah, it was a no-brainer for me. Gravy came in, and he gave us the best matchup of our lives, which is Gravy. And he also suppresses our bad matchups, which is mostly Victor and generally Guardians. So Dori was a very easy picture for me. I know her very well. I practiced very much, which I don't do often. That's why I went to my first calling. I don't do big events, and this was my first one. I did 250 games total, like the last 2 months, trying to figure out the meta. But I had everything into my head more or less. I have like 90% of the matchups, I have it in my mind. So it was easy for me.
Okay, so why do you feel like that? What except from Guardian? I mean, what do you want to accomplish with this deck? And Gravy is so easy to navigate, and the I'm guessing the more aggressive decks don't have a good game plan. I mean, what are you planning to do with that list of Dorinthia you're running?
With the calling, but I was short. Except from that, the first thing that I try to do is win 100% against Gravy because I know it's the most represented deck. I did 26 instances of Go Again, I think it's in the deck if you count them all. And some of them are conditional, but it's total 26 instances of Go Again. If you have enough Go Again, Gravy is easy because you just start on your first turn. If you have a normal hand, you get a counter. You hit some twice, you get a counter, and then you just block with most of your hand and keep one or two hands or one or two cards to attack the whatever ally there is on the board, and the second swing goes into Gravy. You continue that plan, and most of the time you are at 10 to 20 life when he's dead. It's very unlikely to lose. I literally had 45 and 0 into Gravy until I saw Bartos on my final game before the top 8. I was so sure I was in the top 8, but that's another story.
Yeah, I mean, Bartos is a great player. I mean, I think I messaged you, I mean, the day before, but, it was a really tough game, and Bartos is an amazing player and managed to do really well. But I was really rooting for you to manage to get to that top 8. um, okay, so, and that seems to work. Do you have any specific interaction with Gravy? Because I think it's, as you said, probably the deck that most people care about and most people have in their mind. Do you have any specific tips about using this list when playing versus Gravy? Like, is there any ally there is a much high priority,
Um,
or you pretty much are looking to every turn clear the board and try to simply swing for the numbers?
we had some connection issues, so I didn't hear the whole thing. If
Yeah,
you can
okay, okay,
repeat
okay.
some
I'm,
of it
I'm
for
going
me,
to repeat. So,
thank you.
is there any specific ally you or any specific card you want to play around when playing Gravy, or is there any ally where you really have to remove from the battlefield, or is your game plan like all the time? Clear the ally, hit face. Clear the ally, hit face, and you don't really care which ally is and which isn't on the board.
Hmm. So there is the ally that is 2-1 with zero cost. The only ally that has Go Again, I believe.
Yeah, limit. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is my favorite ally to leave on board because it's a free hit on the next turn. So if Gravy has two allies, I just leave her be and kill the other ally and go face. Because next turn, even if he wants to not play allies, I kill that, the 2-1, and then kill his face. I don't care taking 2 damage every turn. I play Providence, of course, and I wait for a great ship to arrive to give Providence in. Um, I always hold the boots until the turn that I don't have a go again source. I always arsenal a go again so that I can always swing twice. And because you get counters by default, because allies exist, it's very easy to block with most of your cards and just keep a card for pitch and go again. And because your Dome Blade gets bigger and bigger, Gravy has to block it or it gets even bigger, or try not to block it, get a lot of gold, and in one turn try to push so much damage with Leyline, Conqueror, an ally, or something, all of them together. That's the plan for Gravy. He basically has to high roll with Leyline, and it has to happen more than one turn for me to be in a bad situation. Um,
Okay,
this
that's
is
that's
basically the
really
plan.
interesting. So I
Yeah.
can see that you have a very clear game plan versus Gravy, and that probably worked out. So, what about the rest of the field? I mean, how do you feel with this deck tackling the rest of the format? What other heroes did you play against in the calling?
I think I played the field. I played uh, all 6 or 7 top heroes that were represented there. So it was an even chance. I played against 3 Gravy total. I played against 2 Sleepy. I was prepared with Sleepy. I did some preparation. My best game plan is to play Dawnblade and 69 cards. I have in there 6 D reactions plus 1 sand, 1 blue sand, and 3 snags. So I play everything except compliance. If I go second, I'm trying to go second. If I go second, I'm trying to take tempo and snowball with counters. And if he tries to disrupt me, I just drop my whole hand, drop my counters, and continue my. If I go first, if I don't get counters, my plan is just to fatigue him because it's possible with all those D reacts and snacks. You just give your hands and keep one blue, hit one, make a vigor, and then you can pretty much give your hand again and swing with the vigor that you had from last turn. So you get 3 damage without even trying. When Sleepy is not that disruptive against you, you just take tempo again and try to outdamage him. So what happened is the first game I played second and I got a lot of counters early. He tried to block me, he couldn't, and I ran him over. On the second Sleepy, he was more experienced, and I did the second plan. I fatigued him. I had 4 cards in my deck and hand when he had 0, and we were very close in life. But that was my plan. I would say that's a 60-40 matchup for me with this plan.
Okay, that's really
Um,
interesting because I can see that you actually run the decimator, but you're saying that even though your game plan is fatigue, that you prefer to still go with the Dawnblade for the more efficient, plays of grain and the splat bleed. That's very interesting because Sleepy, I think, is currently one of the most powerful decks in the format. Okay, so seeing that you have a very clear game plan into the Chaos Assassin is really, really interesting.
The problem with Decimator is that in order to get the value of Decimator, you need a blue in your hand. And when you're playing Sleepy, if you can, you don't want to give him a defense reaction. You want to keep just one defense reaction and put it in your arsenal. Not, and you won't end up with 2 cards in hand most of the time, just 1 card. And you want it to be either a blue to swing for 3 with Dawnblade, but get a vigor for next turn, or a Diriac to arsenal. Also, I have tested both Decimator and Dawnblade, and very good sleepies can fatigue you with Decimator. It is possible because they will force you into very awkward situations. They won't do bonds with 3 attack reactions. They will do bonds with just a nick, and they will get your cards out of your deck. Very, very good sleepies can fatigue you with Decimator, so that's my plan.
Okay, I see. That's very interesting. That's a very interesting approach, and I can totally see why you want to run the three snags in that game plan because I guess one of the ways, as from the assassin perspective, one of the ways to punish this game plan from Dorinthia is probably to try and do a very big Bonds of Agony. But since you run three copies of Snag, it's really easy to set up this and be prepared the turn where you want to do the 20 power Bonds of Agony, like we've seen on the stream from the Call in Copenhagen recently. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's very interesting. How do you feel about the more aggressive decks like Das.io, like Syndra? I mean, we've seen a lot of those like Osilio, like all these types of deck that really want to are trying to target gravy and are trying to be as fast as possible. How do you feel about those matchups?
These are my favorite matchups, maybe except Osilio, because Dori can outpace them, can out aggro them, let's say. Against Syndra, you win by default if you get counters, so it's up to Syndra to defend you efficiently. If Syndra can't defend one or two big turns, you win because of the value that you carry. The counter is so much value, and two counters is so much value, so Syndra can do a lot of numbers, but Dori can do more numbers if she has counters. So it's up to Syndra to actually block you efficiently one or two turns, and then she can win. But for Syndra, you just do the standard stuff. You swap out, I think, one route and two determination because Syndra doesn't want to block, so determination doesn't do anything. And I put the three shelters just for flicks to be more efficient with my prevents and my blocks. For Das.io, um, mostly you try to aggro, you try to out aggro here. I played also with Das.io. I was 8-2. It was my almost final match.
Yeah, I think you played with Phantom from Team Sigil, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Very good guy. Um, Mostly you try to kill Das.io before she kills you. You have the potential to do it. I know that she has a lot of armor, but if you can trick her into bad block situations, you can out damage her. If she plays first and has like three items on her hand, then maybe you consider the fatigue plan. But most of the time I try to win aggro versus Das.io, and this is my most successful that I have been. Um, Specifically for this match, I honestly just gambled because uh, I got 14 damage from him and had no reactions in hand. I just presented a Supremacy, Unsith, swing for 8, go again on hit draw, and hold two cards, and he didn't block because it's impossible to block Dorithia like that. Um, so I won this game like this. Um, what
Yeah,
else did you ask about? What other deck?
yeah. I mean, it's really interesting from the Dorinthia side that you still have. I mean, from most of the warriors right now, I think Dorinthia still has that element of surprise that now has transitioned a bit into assassins. But I mean, Dorinthia used to be the OG deck of what cards do I have in my hand? Yeah, I mean, do I have the +3? Do I have the Guardian? Do I have the Twinning Blade? And I'm really excited to see actually Dorinthia working out and actually reclaiming that spot of, the unexpected deck. So I'm really happy for you saying that you actually bluffed with some hands and you actually, managed to maneuver in a way where it's really hard for the opponent to read what you actually have in your hand.
One card that I want to highlight that I see generally online people disregard it is Glistening Steelblade, is the specialization that gives go again to Dawnblade, and every time that I hit, I get a counter. A lot of people don't play this on their lists, or they say they play it one time. For me, the day that this card came out, I never considered even dropping one. I have three of it always. Maybe in a very, very slow meta that are all guardians and stuff, you can get it out. But now it's amazing, especially against aggro, because you snowball with counters. I won like 4 games because of glistening in the quali. Versus Dash.io, I used glistening. Versus Indra, of course, you use glistening. Versus Ocilio, I played on Ocilio, and it's basically the same thing. I have one arcane compliance I just put 60 cards versus Ocilio, and I try to raise. I swap Steelblade Sand for compliance, and I hope I will get the compliance when it matters most. I did. I was super liking that matchup. I'm not gonna lie. With Ocilio, it was very close. If I didn't draw compliance, I think it would still be very close because I won with like 12 life. But it slowed him down when it mattered the most. But you still raise Ocilio with no AB at all. Just try to block when you think he has Valet, and that's the stuff.
That's very
Um,
interesting. Very interesting. A few copies of cards I want to highlight is what made you decide for the one cost reactions, because I know that these slots are very highly contested. To run 3 copies of Jagged Edge, 3 copies of Puncture, and 2 copies of Route. Why did you choose to make this specific decision? Because again, I know it's a very highly contested spot for the one cost any card in Dorinthia.
I think Puncture is not that highly contested because it's the only 1 for 4 if someone gives armor. So you have to run 3. A lot of armor in the meta. Everyone has armor right now, even assassins. For Jagged Edge, it's mostly if you see Verdance or Florian, because Verdance has the prevent 2 effect. It's a blue card that prevents
A
2
mental
and
block, yeah.
yes, mental block. And Florian used to play the Prevent 5. I don't think they play it now anymore. You could swap Jagged Edge for something like Out for Blood, I think is a card. Or something like that, but I think Jagged Edge is still the best one. Route is a card that surprised everyone that saw my list. No one plays Route anymore because it's just a bad Tarantula toxin. I get it. It is. But still, with my deck, you try to get counters and snowball against most matchups. So you play Glistening, you play Determination, and you play Route. Because the opponent can't play into +6, and Route says +6 on the card. And also, it's a very nice to bring it with Sinking. Like you Sinking Steelblade, you say I'm +7. Even if you have a reaction, I'm over you. And if you have Glistening down, you get 1 counter. With Glistening, you just need to hit once, not twice. And then you snowball from there. And 2 routes is my choice because no one expects 1 route, no one expects 2 routes, and it's very easy for me to block with a route. So if an opponent sees a route in the graveyard, no one knows that I have a second one in. It is a clunky card because it's at 2 bits, and it costs 2, I mean. But I think I have the specific amount of yellows and blues in my deck to play route efficiently, like I have been doing all this time.
Okay, that's very interesting. So regarding because I know that Guardian Mastery Pack was released, but people didn't have the time, to tinker a lot with that in Copenhagen. And regarding the Guardian Mastery Pack and the Super Slam coming in a few months, what do you feel could change to maybe tackle some brutes and more guardians in this list? What changes could you make in a theoretical, future meta game?
I'm not gonna lie. Uh, in a Guardian infested meta, Dorinthia loses so much steam. If Victor is in the top 3 decks, I don't want to play Dorinthia. I wanna be honest. There are lists that can battle this, but they lose the steam to go against aggro decks. You have to play maybe some life gain, cut some glistening blades, or if Victor stays like this and doesn't have any more defense reactions as they play right now, maybe you can take that list and turn it up to 11, go even more attack reactions, and try to get over Victor and overall his blocks, get counters and try to snowball him. It's very, very hard because it's so efficient right now, Victor. I haven't had a chance to check the new heroes. Like I haven't done a lot of theory crafting, so I can't answer that
Yeah,
question
I mean,
like with
we right
accuracy.
now we literally have zero information because there are almost no cards revealed. So it's not like we know much anything. But I can totally get that from the Guardian perspective. But what about brutes? I mean, traditionally it should be a good matchup, right?
Depends on the brute. Kaio, I think it's a good matchup. It's maybe 55, 45, 55 goes to Dorinthia. You just raise him, and the bad thing is that brutes have so much armor right now. All three of them have like 10 to 14 armor, and it's hard for Dorinthia. But you try to snowball them. There is also the mid-range plan that I have tried a little bit, play just 6 reacts, try to mitigate some damage and at the same time try to get some counters. This also seems to work. On Reinar, mid-range is the most, in my opinion, it's the best way to play on Reinar. And on Levia, a very, very good Levia player will win you no matter what you do. Will defeat you, yeah. I tried Decimator, I tried running her over. I think that if you're a very, very good Levia player, you don't have a chance with Dorinthia. You can try to get counters, and a lot of people don't know how to play effectively against Dorinthia, but that's your best strategy, I think.
Okay, that's
So
very
if
interesting.
Super Slam, yeah, if Super Slam becomes very relevant into the new meta, I don't know. I
Yeah.
know that this was Dorinthia's meta. I'm gonna be honest. I love my girl. I've playing here for 3 years, but it's very hard when Brutes and Guardians are the top decks. I hope
Okay,
Gravy
okay, I
stays
see
where
that.
he is.
Sorry.
I hope Gravy stays where he is. I love Gravy.
One person not hoping for the triple bans.
Exactly.
So I have to ask before we wrap this up. So when does the Decimator Great Axe actually come in then? In which matchups are you running this card for?
Good question. Decimator is good against Florian. With the current lists, Florian doesn't have a fatigue plan. So you just go AB3, you have Decimator, you have 70 cards inside, and you fatigue him. I've tried this before, I played this a couple of times. I think it's very consistent, and you mitigate all the damage in the world. At the end, he just demands one card from you, and the other card goes AB, so it returns into your deck. But Decimator demands 2 cards from you, or he takes 2 damage. And that's the whole plan. It's Florian. It's also versus Levia. Right now, versus Levia, if that player doesn't know how to navigate the matchup exactly, you can also fatigue her or kill her by her own effect, by her own hero, the Blood Debt. I know very, very good players know exactly what to do and they can go around Decimator, but I don't think people have tested so much against Decimator, so I would play this versus Levia. And you can also play it against Verdance, although I think it's an overkill. The Verdance matchup is a special one. I also won versus 2 Verdances in the calling. It's a rock, paper, scissors situation there. If Verdance has the combo pieces in the deck and the health pots in the deck, and you go to fatigue her, you just die because she combos. If you go tempo and she has the combo inside, it's easier to win against her because she has cards that don't block. That's what I did both times. I just went tempo. If she doesn't put the combo cards because she thinks you will go tempo and you go with AB3 and Decimator, you fatigue her. So it's a very rock, paper, scissors situation where you have to see your opponent, talk to him a little bit, and play around with your deck in front of your opponent and like, what are you gonna play?
So the game has already started before we play any single card. Yeah,
Exactly.
typical Dorinthia gameplay.
Exactly.
So, Tilemachos, thanks a lot for being here and doing this for me. Again, congratulations for your performance. Do you
Thank
have
you
any
very much.
shout out you want to do? Is there anyone you want to mention or thank or anything?
I mean, my best friend in Flesh and Blood, Christos Kostakis, was my sparring partner, and he helped me very much during this period of trying to prepare for the calling, and also my team, Fat and Furious. Thank you very much for helping me throughout all of this. And actually, my deck was not even my own deck. I didn't own the full thing. A lot of people helped me get it together, like get the cards that I wanted. That's all. Thank you very much for
Okay,
having me.
yeah, thank you again, Tilemachos, and good luck in the next event. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.